it's almost time to go troll the Share an Address show. But before that, it's time. It's time to get fucked up again. Shout out to all the dogs watching my interview replay videos. Pony Bottles, number 20.
The media have got it wrong for so many decades. Well, I think exactly as you're saying, the Harvey Weinstein case, and it may well even lead to a break in this case. I actually believe that's a dim possibility. Why? Because what happened in 1969 was, if the case had been presented, if the murders and the crimes and the underworld background of the drug dealing and the sexual behavior of the people who were killed and of the people who killed them, if it had been revealed, and I get into this in great detail in my book, it would have shown that the Hollywood film and music industry was deeply connected to the criminal underworld, to drug dealing, to pornography, to many other felonies. And I'm not judging it morally, but if you can look at Harvey Weinstein and understand that the media knew these things were happening. Many people reported it to them. Recently, Ronan Farrow, who is the son of Mia Farrow, a very good friend of Sharon Tate, who I also believe, if she were to be honest, knew a great deal about what the true nature of these murders were, though I'm sure she would deny it now. It's an interesting coincidence. Ronan Farrow, her son, tried to tell NBC about the nefarious rapist and sexual abuse activity of Harvey Weinstein, and they killed the story. And many other people tried to get the media to report on this for decades, and they didn't. And as you said, there's a deep connection to how the Manson case was misreported. If in 2017, only now is the media, and I believe the media are the enablers of powerful abusers in the film industry because they're dependent on them for their survival. You know, they work hand in hand with each other. So, of course, they cover up each other's lies and crimes. In 1969, when Los Angeles was even more corrupt, when the film industry was totally in the hands of the mafia, and we know through figures like Robert Evans, who was Roman Polanski's close friend, and he was later involved with the Cotton Club murders. He was proven to be a cocaine dealer, but at the time was the head of Paramount Studios and a figure equally as powerful as Weinstein later became. The media protected him, and basically the Los Angeles film industry and music industry was protected by their media enablers to cover up the sexual peccadillos and the drug dealing and the drug abuse that was going on at the highest levels of Hollywood and the connections to the criminal underworld. It wasn't to scapegoat the hippie movement particularly. That was collateral damage. But I think if you can look at this case now and see how all of these very well-known people are admitting that they evaded the truth, that they lied to protect their careers, is it really so hard to imagine that in 1969, some of the major figures in Hollywood, in the rock industry, and in the film industry deliberately evaded the truth and lied, and that the media cooperated to cover up their deep knowledge of what really happened in these infamous murders? And the thing is, like the Weinstein thing, and I believe it's going to keep going deeper and deeper, were there to have been a trial that was a real trial and not just this coached and manufactured show trial in the Manson case, the film industry would have been destroyed by what would have been revealed about its true nature then in 1969. And Manson has often said this to me in so many words, many, many times, and for many years, that what was covered up was not who killed these people, but the relations between the people and what it would have revealed about their actual lives. So it's basically just, you've been lied to for 48 years to protect the reputations of powerful film and music industry people. And the aging survivors of that group of people have been lying for decades. And I could name them, but you can figure out pretty easily who were the friends of Sharon Tate and Jay Sebring. And in my book, I get pretty clearly into the details of what the nature of this cover-up and what these lies were. But retro-engineer it, I would say to the skeptical listener, if Weinstein's crimes could have been covered up, and look at Roman Polanski, recently charged again by a German actress just last week for a rape that was committed, she claims, many years ago. How many more crimes will he not ever be held to account for? A lot of things have come out about Hugh Hefner's life. The minute he died, as soon as he was cold, a lot of women started revealing the amount of hidden abuse. And there's even a connection with Hugh Hefner and his lieutenant, Victor Lowndes, to the Manson murder, which I get into in my book. So I think that's a good, not a metaphor, but it's really the same story. Ever since the 1920s, Hollywood and the media have been working to cover up their own depravity, their own criminal actions, and the public has largely gone along with it. This may be a turning point, the Weinstein case, but I have a feeling America, being the amnesiac nation it is, it will probably be distracted by some other event reasonably soon. But gives you a good idea of what went on in 1969, when there was no internet, when there was no way for people to reveal what the lies were. The media went along with it, they didn't report it properly, and 48 years later, we have a litany of lies that has become the facts about the Manson case.
Nicholas Schreck, author of The Manson File, Myth and Reality of an Outlaw Shaman. Now, if anybody out there wants to get a hold of you or wants to read more, how can they do so?
Right. They can reach me through my official Facebook page, Nicholas Schreck Official, my website, nicholasschreckeu.eu, and my Instagram account. So there's ample ways to reach me. And the publication date of the next Manson File will probably be sometime in late November or December. I'm still working on it, and still, even at this day, new information and important parts of the puzzle come to me. So the last edition came out in 2011. There will be a significant amount of new material in this, and I'm hoping that it will come out by the end of this year. So you can reach me through all those various social media platforms.
If you'd like to hear even more, I would highly recommend the newest version of The Manson File when it is released. And for those who are spelling challenged, Nicholas Schreck is spelled NIKOLASSCHRECK. So Nicholas, thanks for being on the show tonight.
It's been my pleasure. And the final thing I can say is what we've discussed, as I think you know, even though it's been lengthy, is really the tip of a very deep iceberg. And it's not as if your listeners, if they're intelligent, can put two and two together and follow up on some of the more obscure names which I've mentioned and do their own research. And I think they will be pretty startled by the fact that a lot of this mystery is out there in plain view, but it simply hasn't been put together in a coherent manner, and it's simply too complicated for the general public to even grasp just how complicated the mystery and the cover-up is. So thank you again for the time, and I appreciate your thoughtful questions.
Have a great night, Nicholas. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, we'll speak soon. Thank you.
I'm S.T. Patrick. This is the Midnight Rider News Show, and we'll be right back. He's the guy.
There you have it, folks. 3-hour interview with Mr. Nicholas Schreck, who, in my opinion, has nailed the truth about the so-called Manson murders. I refer to them as the Tex Watson murders. No helter skelter. Fuck Vincent Bugliosi. Chaos is a piece of shit too. I won't say Tom O'Neill is a piece of shit. I'll just say that Tom O'Neill is fucking wrong. It wasn't the CIA. There's no mind control going on. No, it was about a bad drug deal. And a bunch of very famous, very influential people trying to cover their ass. That's what makes most sense. That's the most logical way to look at it. I mean, I can understand how some people buy into Tom O'Neill's book because, you know, Manson did, I won't say cross paths with certain individuals that were involved in MK Ultra and all that. But that that was just happenstance. He just happened to be in the same place they were at the same fucking time. Well, I wonder what I'm going to play next. I don't know. We'll see. In the meantime, go fuck yourselves.